Hello, beautiful and exotic women of the world. When women choose the bear, we're shamed for it. But today I'm going to show you an example of when men choose the bear. And it's only when they understand the full scope of how scary a man who is harassing them can be. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because a lot of women are shamed for choosing the bear over toxic male attention and validation. And I find that a lot of people, specifically pick-me women and toxic men who partake in these activities, look at us as ungrateful for not wanting unsolicited attention. Isn't that interesting? Like, we're not allowed to not want to be stared at and undressed with our eyes. And some men will go out of their way to exert their dominance over you by staring in creepy ways, by following you around, by speaking to you in flirtatious manners that you did not ask for. Like, this happened to me literally yesterday. I was at the nail salon and this guy was there with his wife and he was waiting in the waiting area and he's like complimenting how I walk and how my hair looks and trying to make conversation with me. Sir. But you know, there's a pick-me woman out there that would have loved that attention, because pick-me women love unsolicited and violating attention, even when it's borderline assault or harassment. And then they get up on social media and brag to you guys about it and make courses for you to spend money on so that they can teach you how to get unsolicited attention and validation from men who you don't even really want for real. That's what they're not telling you. A lot of these men that go out of their way to be creeps are the ones that are bottom of the barrel. They're the ones that nobody wants. That's why they have to do all this overcompensating. Think about it. The men who are actually on their A game, you know, they're financially stable, they're men of quality, they have great morals and values, and the ones who are good looking and attractive, they're not going to be out here undressing women with their eyes and following women around public establishments like restaurants and gyms and malls. They're also not going to be at the workplace harassing women and sending D pics. And so it's so funny that when we choose the bear, they get mad at us because it's like, how dare you choose a bear over my perverted, creepy ass? But the only time that they can understand remotely how serious and how dangerous and how scary that type of attention is when they're the victim and that unwanted attention is aimed at them. So I'm going to show you ladies this clip and then I'll come back for my 2 cents.
Would you rather be stuck in a forest with a bear or Diddy? No. Yeah. Give me some sticks. I sharpen it into a spear. One-on-one with the bear.
Alrighty. This is quite ironic. A lot of you guys make fun of women for saying that they choose the bear. And the guys in the video say they rather choose the bear than to be harassed or stalked or attacked by another man.
Oh, how the tables have turned. So I just also think it's ironic too that even in my previous video yesterday and this one, the men are speaking up for women. Like in the video yesterday, there was a man who was speaking about how being chased by a lot of men is not a flex, right? So that kind of forces other men to kind of shut up, even though I still had men in my comment section trying to debunk what was being said. And this video, there's an actual man who's shining light on the fact that it's ironic that men used to make fun of women for choosing the bear, for not wanting to be harassed or stalked or followed or attacked. And they can finally understand how harmful it is because they're getting a front row seat to Diddy's demise. It's the only scenario that a lot of men are being able to kind of witness firsthand how dangerous harassment can be and how it can be aimed at men just like them. What it really boils down to is some toxic men and pick-me women don't understand the dangers of harassment and the warning signs until it's on their doorstep, until it's them experiencing it. And I think that's just a flaw of humanity. Like, a lot of people really don't have compassion for others when they're going through things. Even to this point, I remember when women and men were making excuses for Bill Cosby when his whole situation was happening and said that the women were lying and they're just trying to keep a black man down. And it's like, I never aligned with that rhetoric because I believe victims. I don't believe big stars who have access to all types of resources to be able to do the types of things that Bill Cosby was accused of doing. So I never understood this. And I feel like a lot of celebrity men too backed Diddy for months into his investigation in the Cassie case and were riding with him 10 toes down, making excuses. They were saying that this is just a cash grab and she just wants a payday. And it wasn't until the facts started flying off the shelves and things started coming out by the dozen about him that people finally were like, dang, we were wrong. So let's go through some of these comments. One person said, oh, now they get it. Someone else said, so we all picked the bear. Someone else said, the irony is irony. Then this woman wrote, and now imagine that Diddy is always bigger and stronger than you, and everyone around you affirms that Diddy will easily overpower you. Then, of course, you're gonna always have that one guy. So someone commented, no, dude, he specifically said Diddy and not some random. So I guess he's trying to say that the reason why these men feel like the bear is better than Diddy is because they know it was Diddy, but I guess he's insinuating that if it was a random man, they would have said the man. And this woman commented something that was so profound. She said, the point of this video is to demonstrate how women feel. The thought process of jumping to Diddy is how women approach all men. 1/3 of men said if no one could catch them, they'd grape a woman. And then someone also said to the guy's point, Diddy was a random before we found out. Diddy was a random before the fame, right? Before we knew deeply into his history and past, he was a random before he did anything. And even randoms in your family, randoms who you're friends with, who you go play ball with on the weekends, your bros, quote unquote, could be those randoms too. So just because their information and their business isn't out on Front Street doesn't make them any less scary than Diddy. And so I just thought this was a very ironic, funny, but not so funny clip that kind of just highlights how men really can't fathom how dangerous harassment is until they could potentially be the victim of it. I think a lot of them just expect women to kind of deal with the advances and deal with the aggression, deal with the really perverted, weird staring and the stalking behavior. They just kind of expect us to deal with that. Don't even get me started on the women who are 10 toes down for men like Diddy. A lot of these pick-me women will get online and brag about that kind of stuff, but it's not a flex. It's not something to brag about. And because they were attention deprived or touch deprived, either one, they find it attractive to have a man do those things. Meanwhile, I have been getting unsolicited attention my entire life. And it's always 99.7% of the time, it's men who I'm not attracted to. And it's so funny because I got a comment yesterday and a woman mentioned this too. She said, it's always the unattractive ones. It's always the ones that women do not want, who women are not checking for, that go above and beyond to stare you down, undress you with their eyes, make inappropriate comments on the workplace, harassing you on the workplace in little covert, passive ways that fly under the radar of HR or the manager or whoever's in charge, follow you around the mall, follow you around the gym, follow you to your car after you just went to the supermarket. These are traumatic things that are microaggressions because they're done in a way where you notice it, but they can't really get in trouble for it, unless they're a repeat offender, of course. But you guys know what I mean. They do it in a very covert way. This is not a channel that bashes men at all because I am in a relationship. I want to make that very clear. I love good men. I love quality men. And I'm also not going to turn down an opportunity to share the irony in something like this, where women are shamed and made fun of for choosing the bear, but these men chose the bears too. When they realized who the predator was, they want to be the prey. And I just think that's funny. So ladies, drop down in the comments section. Let's have a conversation. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this clip, on what you think about choosing the bear over certain types of men. I'll also be leaving my email in the description box so you can share any of your stories with me there as well. Have a lovely day, ladies.